They say everyone is replaceable. In the corporate world, that is the lie they tell you to keep you humble. I was the senior systems architect for a mid-sized logistics firm in Chicago. I built their network from scratch. I knew every cable, every server, every line of code like the back of my hand. It was a Friday afternoon. I was expecting my quarterly review and a significant performance bonus we had agreed upon months ago. Instead, I got an email. Subject: mandatory meeting with HR. Immediate effect. I walked into the glass-walled conference room. The VP of operations, a guy named Brad who thought cloud computing meant checking the weather, was sitting there with a woman from HR I had never met. Brad wouldn't even look at me. "We're restructuring the IT department," HR said, sliding a thick envelope across the table. "Your position has been made redundant. Security will escort you out immediately." No bonus, no notice, just a cardboard box and a kick in the teeth after 5 years of loyalty. "You can't do this," I said, my voice shaking slightly. "The legacy server migration isn't finished. The automated backups, they need manual oversight." Brad finally looked up, smirking. "We hired a cheaper external team in India to handle that, Dave. We don't need expensive local talent anymore. Hand over your badge and laptop." They thought they were saving $120,000 a year. They had no idea they were throwing away the keys to their own castle. I didn't argue. I didn't scream. I just nodded slowly. I handed over my badge. I handed over the company laptop. But here is the thing about being a good architect. You always build fail-safes. Years ago, I wrote a script, a dead man's switch. It wasn't malicious. It was designed to alert me if the system went unsupervised for 48 hours. It required a simple manual ping from my admin account to reset the timer. If the ping didn't come, the system would assume the admin was gone and lock everything down for security. As the security guard walked me to the elevator, treated like a criminal in the building I helped wire, I checked my personal phone. 4:55 p.m. The automated script was running on the main server. The timer was set for 48 hours. If I didn't log in by Sunday at 5 p.m., the protocol 0 would initiate. I walked out into the cool Chicago air, hailed a cab, and decided to turn my phone off for the weekend. I had a lot of sleeping to do.
Saturday was peaceful. I went fishing, I grilled a steak. For the first time in 5 years, I didn't check my email once. I didn't stress about server loads or uptime. I was unemployed, and it felt fantastic. Meanwhile, inside the company servers, the invisible clock was ticking down. Tick, tock. The new external team Brad hired probably didn't even know where to look for the script. They were likely struggling just to map the network drives. Sunday evening rolled around. 5 p.m. The deadline passed. Protocol 0 engaged. It didn't delete anything. I'm not a criminal. It simply encrypted the root access keys and changed the admin passwords to a random 64-character string that was generated and then emailed to my company email address. The address I no longer had access to. The system did exactly what it was designed to do: secure the assets in the absence of an administrator. The company was now locked out of its own brain. Monday morning must have been a bloodbath. I turned my personal phone back on at 10 a.m. Seemed like a reasonable time to wake up. My screen exploded with notifications. 47 missed calls, 12 voicemails, text messages from Brad ranging from, "Hey buddy, call me," to, "We are going to sue you." The logistics software was down. Trucks couldn't leave the depots. Orders couldn't be processed. Every minute of downtime was costing them thousands of dollars. I listened to one voicemail from Brad. Dave, pick up. The whole system's locked. It's asking for a decryption key. The new guys can't get in. Clients are screaming. We need the password." I made a cup of coffee, sat on my porch, and watched the birds. I wasn't an employee anymore. I was a redundant asset. And redundant assets don't provide technical support. Around noon, a courier arrived at my house. It was a formal letter from their legal department, threatening legal action for sabotage. I laughed. I hadn't touched their system since I left. Their own negligence caused this. I called my lawyer just to be safe. He told me to sit tight. If they want your help, they're going to have to hire you as a consultant. By 2 p.m., the tone changed. The CEO called me personally. Not Brad, the big boss. "David," his voice strained. "We made a mistake. Brad made a mistake. We need the system back up. Name your price." I looked at my bank account. I looked at the bonus they stole from me. "I'm effectively a freelancer now. My consulting rate is $500 an hour, with a minimum retainer of 40 hours paid up front, and I want my severance package doubled."
There was silence on the other end of the line. $20,000 up front, just to get me to log in, plus the severance. It was expensive, but compared to losing millions in stalled shipments, it was a bargain. "Done," the CEO said. "Send the invoice, just fix it." I sent the invoice via PayPal. The notification hit my phone 2 minutes later. Payment received. I opened my laptop. I didn't even have to go to the office. I VPN'd into the network. Ironically, my access was the only thing the script hadn't killed because it recognized my device ID. I entered the reset command. Protocol 0, disengaged. The lights on the dashboard turned green. The trucks could move again. Total work time, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I called the CEO back. "You're back online," I said. "Oh, and by the way, the external team you hired? I saw their logs. They were trying to brute force the firewall. If I hadn't locked it down, they would have exposed your entire customer database to the public web. My script saved you a GDPR lawsuit." The CEO didn't say thank you. He just hung up. 2 weeks later, I heard through the grapevine that Brad was fired. The restructuring had cost the company about $150,000 in lost revenue and consulting fees. I took my doubled severance, my consulting fee, and the money I would have gotten as a bonus, and I booked a 3-week trip to Japan. They tried to treat me like a broken cog. They forgot that I was the one who built the machine. Sometimes the most expensive thing you can do is fire the guy who knows where the bodies are buried.